So this is that female, Trevino. She flicks me off as I'm going back to back of my patrol car, fails the single left hand to go into the left lane. She flicks me off, so I just wanted a second when I made contact with her. You're under arrest for failed to signal lane change.
I'm under arrest for failing to signal a lane change?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm under arrest for failing to signal a lane change?
Yes, ma'am.
Why are we arresting you for a traffic infraction?
Well, she comes down the street, comes right towards me. As I'm walking back by the car, didn't do nothing, she flicks me off. You think it's going to be an issue?
Given your history with her.
Yeah.
Any other person you would write a ticket to, right?
Yeah.
I've always taught my kid, you know, the police are heroes. You know, she used to go up and thank every cop she's seen at the gas station and stuff. Like, thank you for your service. You know, my dad was a cop. I really appreciated. I was one of the people that mostly defended them. They'd have to do something pretty bad for me not to be like, the job's hard, blah, blah, blah. The only time I've ever felt the need to call 911 was with a cop standing at my window. And then you realize that 911's not coming to save you. You can't fight back against a cop either. That's the even more scary part. I mean, if it was a random person mugging me on the street, I would be way less terrified than when it's a cop, because you can't fight back. They'll just keep coming. Until you're dead, they will just keep coming if you fight back. And you'll be in trouble for it. They can do literally whatever they want to you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it.
On September 6, 2023, Officer Patrick Akers with the New Braunfels, Texas Police Department was on a traffic stop. As he walks to the back of his patrol car, he sees a silver Volkswagen and the driver is flipping him off. Patrick Akers is under the impression that he is a pillar of power and authority in this community, and no one will disrespect that.
I am a cop, and you will respect my authority!
Patrick Akers heroically jumps into his vehicle and rips off at a high rate of speed to catch the disrespectful citizen.
193.
Nora Sam 5187. Nora Sam 5187. It's going to be for a black Volvo. We're going to stop on the 500 block of Rusk Avenue.
PD 256 traffic.
256.
Boy Charles Paul 5990. Boy Charles Paul 5990. Be at Gardenia in South Walnut. Can I get a second?
Can I get a backup unit for 256 at Gardenia in South Walnut?
While Officer Akers sits in his car and waits for backup, the victim, Brittany Trevino, goes live.
Live because the cop that arrested me for resisting arrest now has pulled me over for flipping him off.
He hasn't even walked up to the vehicle to get his victim's identity yet, but when his sergeant arrives, he tells his sergeant exactly who he's pulled over and why.
So this is that female, Trevino. She flicks me off as I'm going back to back of my patrol car, fails the single left hand to go into the left lane. She flicks me off, so I just wanted a second when I made contact with her. How's it going? Officer Akers, New Braunfels Police Department. Okay.
I know who you are.
That's fine. Well, the reason why you being
over for flipping you off.
No, ma'am. She flicks me off, so I just wanted a second when I made contact with her.
Over for flipping you off.
No, ma'am. The reason why
you are retaliating against me. You turned your sirens on and everything. Ran over here like a crazy person.
Okay. Well, ma'am, the reason why you're being contacted is you failed to signal lane change when you flicked me off.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and step out of the car. Step out of the car. I have 3 officers here.
He's hurt me before. Please don't let him.
Yeah. Would you mind, Henderson? Go ahead and detain her.
Don't.
In cuffs.
No, because he's done illegal to me.
Okay, alright, continue to violate that for me.
You're under arrest for failed to signal lane change.
I'm under arrest for failing to signal a lane change?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm under arrest for failing to signal a lane change?
Yes, ma'am.
Stay still. Let me get these
I'm sorry. You guys just know this
She pleads with them to grab her phone, but they refuse to extend that little bit of kindness to her, which they're about to seriously regret because her phone is about to pick up their conversation that they tried to hide.
You want me to transport, or you think better?
No, Danny can do it.
Danny, would you mind just transporting? You don't have to do anything else other than transport. I'll be there. PD 2B6.
Go ahead.
Can you go ahead and get me next rotational record? That female is in my custody. I believe it's going to be Brittany Trevino.
6 when in custody at 8:39.
What's that? Yeah, she has a driver's license, but...
I'm going to turn this off. No.
Both officers turn off their cameras, but the cell phone that Brittany pleaded with them to get is still sitting on top of the car, recording their conversation.
Why are we arresting you for a traffic infraction?
Well, she comes down the street, comes right towards me. As I'm walking back by the car to do nothing, she flicks me off.
Mm-hmm.
And then as she does that, she gets on the lane, fails a single lane change.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's going to be an issue?
Huh?
You think it's going to be an issue?
Given your history with her.
Yeah.
So, any other person you would write a ticket to, right?
Yeah.
So, that's how you have to treat every interaction.
Okay.
So, if you would normally write a ticket to this person for this, just because that in the past she's done this, this, and this, right? This is something that you would normally write a ticket for, and let's write a ticket for it.
Yeah. You want me to go ahead, Alicia? Yeah.
So if you're like me, you're probably wondering, what history does Officer Patrick Akers have with this woman? Their first interaction was back in June of 2021. The video of the incident is super choppy, and there's only one frame for about every 3 to 15 seconds. So I asked Brittany to tell the story for us while we watched the few frames that were caught on video. Officer Akers was responding to a call about a suspicious male at this storage unit. He spots Brittany, clearly a female, pulls up, shines bright lights in her face, and starts putting his hands on her.
So basically, I was just at my storage, throwing something into my sister's storage really quick and then grabbing out an Instapot from mine. As I was stopped, he just pulls up in front of me with his bright lights on. He doesn't have his red and blue lights on, not his spotlight or anything like that, just his incredibly bright lights. And then with a flashlight with like 9,000 lumens in my face, you know, and he just comes up to me. Well, I'm in a dark alleyway alone at night. He's just aggressively approaches me, and it did freak me out. Like, I'm like, what do you want? Like, you know, and then within 2 minutes, he just basically slammed me into my car and used my body to fight with himself. And then he ended up handcuffing himself to me during this. I'm not fighting. Half the time I'm standing on one leg because I had just started walking again after a car accident. And my leg is like disfigured now because of it. So I didn't want him to damage my leg even more. So I'm literally not fighting with him, standing still. And he's yelling, oh, yeah, he was yelling things that didn't even make sense. Turn around now. He has me shoved up against my car so hard that my body is like squished. You can see it in the camera, like I am squished. And he has his leg in between my legs, also shoving me into the car, but telling me to turn around. Anyways, he ends up flipping me around, handcuffing himself to me. And then that's when the other officers jumped the fence and ran up to save him. And then he started like putting on a show, right? But he called officer down status. Like,
Oh.
Every cop in town was coming to save him.
How did he handcuff himself to you?
He was so worked up that he was like fumbling everything. So he ended up fumbling, putting handcuffs on me and handcuffed me to him. So the other officers run up, and then you see them on the video, and all they're doing is releasing him from the handcuff.
So he arrested you on that night at the storage unit, right?
Yes, he arrested me for resisting arrest. Well, after he had shoved me into my car and shined a flashlight into it while holding me against my car, he seen a hemp pipe or what a pot pipe, but it's like legal pot. You can buy it in the town. They have several stores here that sell them.
These charges, did you beat them? Were you convicted?
Okay,
what happened there?
Guadalupe County Court dismissed the resisting arrest after a hung jury. It was clear to everybody that he was not being truthful. So anyways, that got dismissed. But in the city, the municipality, I had a trial for the pipe. And I was found guilty of that. And Patrick Akers gave a victim impact statement asking the judge to ban me from speaking about him on Facebook and YouTube because it really affects his family and friends to see this, and his coworkers. And then the judge told him, I can't tell her not to say things. And then he basically threatened me, kind of something to the effect of, I've got something in store for you, as he stormed out of the court after the judge told him that she couldn't ban me from speaking. During that trial, the prosecutor, I asked why they didn't test the pipe to make sure that it was not hemp and it was CBD. And she said that it's not their job to test it, that I could have had it tested. I could have brought proof I was innocent, but I didn't, because it's a municipal court with low-level offenses that you can't get jail time for, and there's no record in that court. So it's your word against the court's word. So when you go in there, they just do whatever and say whatever they want.
And I'm assuming you didn't record any of it, right?
No, because they tell you to don't, and I didn't want to do the wrong thing, and I honestly wish I would have, but I just didn't want to do the wrong thing, you know?
Yeah. How long did that case go on for?
2 years.
How long after all of this happened did Officer Akers pull you over in this traffic stop?
Probably less than a month. I think after the trial that I seen him and I flipped him off.
The sergeant orders Officer Akers to release Trevino. The sergeant comes back to give Brittany a ticket, but he can't help but scolding her and trying to make her believe that she is the one that did something wrong here, not Officer Patrick Akers.
So here's the thing, right? Had you just gone on about your day, right? So your intense hatred is causing you to do other things that is drawing attention to you.
I understand what you're saying.
You need to move on with your life and move along, okay?
It's just hard when something's so wrong. It's not for you. And I've always, you know, I've always. And I never thought that the situation would happen to me ever could have happened in a million years. I never would have thought.
I'm not here to debate this situation with you. I watched the video. I know everything that occurred. Okay? I know about the court stuff, everything that occurred. If Officer Akers had done anything wrong, he wouldn't be here right now. Right? That's 100% true.
I've always taught my kid, you know, the police are heroes. You know, she used to go up and thank every cop she's seen at the gas station and stuff. Like, thank you for your service. You know, my dad was a cop. I really appreciated. I was one of the people that mostly defended them. They'd have to do something pretty bad for me not to be like, the job's hard, blah, blah, blah. The only time I've ever felt the need to call 911 was with a cop standing at my window. And then you realize that 911's not coming to save you. You can't fight back against a cop either. That's the even more scary part. I mean, if it was a random person mugging me on the street, I would be way less terrified than when it's a cop, because you can't fight back. They'll just keep coming. Until you're dead, they will just keep coming if you fight back. And you'll be in trouble for it. They can do literally whatever they want to you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it.